What is up, everyone? Harry the Big Dog here. And we are going to do this big time tonight. So, intros on. Let's go.
Welcome to this episode of the DJ Interview with your host, Harry the Big Dog.
What's up, everyone? This is Harry the Big Dog, and this is the DJ Interview. We are here tonight having a little tech issues, but we getting through all of this. So, if you're watching live, just say what's up. If you're watching from the replay, put who you are and where you're watching from. Now, this guest we're having a couple of issues right here, so I'm gonna just keep this thing flowing until we get this thing going. This dude, he's really doing it up. So, what's up, Jeff? Glad you are here. This dude, DJ Igor Beatz, he's like really killing it right about now. So, hey, Darlene, how y'all doing today? What's up, Jeff? Jeff is in the building. What is up, Darlene? So, I'm going to bring this dude on. I ain't going to make an intro. I'm going to bring him in so he can talk about everything that he's doing and everything that he's got going on before the tech gods hate on us. So, without further ado, we got DJ Igor Beatz.
What it do, man? What it do?
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
The tech gods ain't with us right now, so.
Right. Hey, man. Hey, bless up to the eyes. Please have a little mercy on us.
Just give us 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then you can do whatever you want.
Hey, I'm gonna try to hang in as long as I can, man. Please don't, you know what I'm saying? Bear with me. I don't know what the Wi-Fi. Shouts out to SoCal, man. I'm down here visiting, trying to get a connection with you.
Not a problem. So, how is it out there before we get started?
Oh, wow.
What's the weather like?
Well, I'm in Bakersfield, California right now. It's 102 degrees.
Woo!
Yeah. So we out here frying eggs on the street.
Oh man, that's funny. So, all right, we're gonna start this thing while the tech gods is giving us a little bit of wiggle room to play with. So,
right.
Let us know we know your DJ name, DJ Igor Beatz, your government name if you want, and how you got started in this business and what year we talking around. So, go.
Woo. Okay, bless up to the tech guys once again. DJ Igor Beatz. My government name is Richard. I got into DJing, man. I just love music. You know, my family is, musically inclined. They always played music around me, and it always stuck. And I used to like how the records, they hypnotize everybody. You play a certain record, it was like magic. And I felt like, that was like being a magician. I wanted to be that type of magician.
Right. So, how did you get into the DJing? Let's start there, since this is the DJ interview.
Right. Well, I can tell you that started when I was a youngster. My mom, she used to have parties at the house, and her friend, my mom had a record room. It was like a small room just specifically for the record player and the records. And I noticed how when Pops went in that room, certain records he'd play would just make the whole room happy. Certain records he'd play, it would just make the whole room sit down and think. And I loved that control, and I always wanted to get in there. So when I was little and they used to have parties, I used to try to sneak downstairs in the room, because once I get in the room, you can't see I'm up. And as long as I played the right record, they would never come to the room. I would only get in trouble if I played the wrong record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that became the thing with me. How many records can I play before they bust me?
Oh, that is funny.
It grew from there. Moms had moved us to Vallejo, California, and in junior high school, I met these two twins. Shouts out to Marco and Marcus. And Marco and Marcus, they was on their own DJ journey. They had 2 component sets. For those that don't know what a component set is, that's one of them sets that has the 8-track, the cassette, the record player, and the radio all in one.
All in one.
You know what I mean? And Marco and Marcus, they had 2 of those. And the thing what they did back then, and like I said, I was in junior high school. I thought it was genius. They hooked up 2 of those to one set of speakers. And I'm like, oh, you play it, and from then on, the whole intrigue and the curiosity it blew up from there.
Right. Wow. So what year are we talking?
Woo, we talking 83, 84, 85. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And you're originally from the West Coast?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, everybody, because I live in Oakland now, so everybody like to remind me, like, Rich, you was born in San Francisco. But I like to tell them, I was born in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? I was raised and nurtured in Vallejo. Right. I was tested in Berkeley, and then I was set loose in Oakland.
Oh man, funny. So when did you get your first taste of turntables? Either playing on somebody else's or getting your own?
Well, the funny, that's crazy. You asked that, because my first turntables, I actually built them.
Really?
What I did was I found myself 2 component sets, right? And I don't know, you remember how your grandmother used to have that one where you lift up the wood top and it has the record player down in there?
I got one in my garage.
Right. Well, what I did was I took that turntable out of there and I duct taped it to a milk crate, to the open end of a milk crate, and I duct taped all the way around it so it would be there. You couldn't see it. So the turntable looked like a little box. So my first turntable was 2 of those. So I don't know what that was back then. A Sansui record player. What was it? Sanyo RCA.
It was everybody's make and model. RCA was the bigger name back then.
Right. I remember though, my first mixer was that old school Radio Shack with no crossfader, with the 2 VU meters at the top, and you had to go click.
A realistic.
Yeah. You had to go click, 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 click.
So now you're DJing on crates, being innovative.
Oh man.
When did you start getting records?
Oh wow. You know, my first record, I know you probably heard this before, but this is literally the truth. My first record was Rapper's Delight. My second record I got from my sister was Prince, I Want to Be Your Lover. It was my first two records. It took my mom like 3 months to take me to the record store to buy Rapper's Delight with my own money. Cause boy, you ain't gonna be playing that on my record player, messing up my record player. You know what I mean? I didn't have my own record player then, but yeah, those was my first two records.
Oh, funny. First two. So were you able to cut the records? Or your milk crate?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna tell you. Oh man, you had to. First thing I had to do was I had to break off that arm. You know, they had that arm on that make the record go on by itself. I had to break that off, right? And then, you know, the big long stem in the middle would used to hold about 50 records on it.
Yeah.
I had to put that against the curb and bend it until I broke it in half. And then put it back in there. I'm telling you, I really built these. I wish I could have. I'm gonna try to do it again one day. That's what I should do. Build them again.
If you can find some cheap turntables to do that.
Right. But yeah, and man, my first slip mats, I cut them out of the record sleeves. You know, just traced over the record and cut it out the record sleeve and put that on top of the rubber.
Oh, that's funny. So now, take us into the late 80s, early 90s. Where are you now?
Oh, wow. Late 80s, early 90s. I'm in Berkeley, California. I'm not realizing that I'm at Berkeley High, and Berkeley High has a radio station. And at the time, I hated radio because of the commercials. They always messed up my pause mix. You know, I used to always try to pause mix Tony Valera and Michael Erickson, but then the commercials come in.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm in Berkeley. By now, I'm in Berkeley. I own two turntables called Technique B52s.
Wow.
Right. We
Those
backyard DJing. Yeah, we backyard DJing, and like I said, at our high school we had a radio station. And then our rival high school, which was El Cerrito High, they also had a radio station. And the funny thing is, I'm at Berkeley High with Money B, and El Cerrito, which is our rivals school. Tupac was down there.
Wow.
Right. So I'm growing up with these cats, not realizing they're going to be mega stars. Not
stars. Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, it just blew up from there. Berkeley High was a great high school in which it had a lot of classes that, you know, schools normally didn't have. Like Berkeley High had a DJ class. They had a DJ team that would go around to other schools and battle other schools that had a DJ team. Their team was called the Mixologists. Yeah. Wow. So I'm, you know, 86, 87. I'm trying to be a mixologist. We doing high school parties, backyard parties, learning how to break dance. You know, we getting everything over here on the West Coast a little bit late. You know what I mean? Right. So, man, we was just trying to grasp a hold of it. At the same time, that's like 9th, 10th, 11th grade. We trying to grasp a hold of life too.
Now, what type of music was out there? Did y'all like gravitate to the East Coast music first, or did y'all have an established local groups out there?
Well, I'll tell you, our hip hop, I would say it was East Coast based, because all our great groups was East Coast. Back then we was listening to Just Ice, Mantronics, Ice-T, West Coast hadn't all the way blown up. We was listening to West Coast pop lock. On the West Coast, we was listening to funk. We was listening to Zap.
Yeah.
Hip hop hadn't still like when hip hop was flourishing on the East, it was still like over here, everybody was like scoffing at it. Like, oh, that won't last. That's not really music. You know? Who would have thought it's bigger than religion now?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Jeff is saying the Timex Social Club went to Berkeley High.
Yeah. In fact, a few of the members went to Berkeley High, and a few of them went to a school in Richmond. Yeah. One of them. I never bring up one of my friends, but Mike Marshall is my big homie, because in Berkeley High, his little brother was my buddy Tony Marshall. What's up, Tone? Yeah. And put it this way. The generation that you guys see as Timex Social Club and as Digital Underground, I was the friends with their little brothers and cousins. We was the younger ones coming right next. You know what I mean?
Now, did I hear you had a birthday around now, or?
Well, not around now. It's actually in June. And I've been celebrating all year. You only turn 52 once, man.
Yeah, for
I don't
real.
know. Right. So I'm like, I've been celebrating the whole time.
Oh, man. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Oh, so now you're, Jeff is also saying Mike Marshall sang that I Got 5 on It song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike has a autobiography song called "Who Is He?" Y'all should look it up if you ever want to know who Mike Marshall is.
Okay.
That was the big homie. He was the beginning in hip hop. He was the soul voice. Back then, people wasn't singing with hip hop. That didn't go together. Mike was like one of the forefathers that sold that in back then.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So now going up to mid 90s, late 90s, where you at now? Are you in Oakland already, or you still?
Yeah, I'm in Oakland, and
Okay.
let loose.
Yeah.
I can't go into too much detail because my mom is in the other room. I'm down here visiting her, so I don't want her to pop out the door and slap me upside the head. 52, you still ain't grown enough. You know what I mean?
No, you still ain't grown.
That's right. But mid 90s, late 90s. I'm let loose. I'm with my first kid.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I mean, I was in the world with no manual. If you can understand what I mean, and every smooth idea sounded great, and I tried it.
Wow. So
You know what I mean?
Where did you start DJing at clubs or performing?
Actually, I started DJing first. As a youngster, we started DJing the after hours in Berkeley, California. I was like 15, 16 years old. And my big homie owned the after hours, and he snuck us in because he knew we was good. So
right.
And he just made us promise, y'all stay in the DJ booth. Don't come out the DJ booth or I can't let you work here. Right. So, we snuck out a couple of times. I had to learn how to drink some kind of way.
Why not at the club, right?
Right. So yeah. And late 90s. Yeah, we performing by the late 90s. I'm producing a few groups myself. And I'm traveling up and down California's coast, taking them to every club I can think of. We used to do what's called a hole in the wall tour. And by that, we used to look up every hole in the wall on the California coast from Oakland to Santa Cruz and back up to Oregon and all the way back down, and just go to
Wow.
those clubs and try to sell our CDs.
Wow. The Hole in the Wall tour. I
Yep.
never heard of
So
that one. What's up, James? We got James Bender in the building. So now you're I know you're kind of limited on stuff you can say in your environment right now, but I seen from your bio and all of that some of the artists you've worked with.
uh-huh.
Could you
Oh man,
name could you name
you
and talk
know,
about a few of them?
up here I've had a chance to work with pretty much you can name them. Wow, I was blessed to be able to record Mr. Fab's very first song. Uh, I was blessed to design Filthy Rich's very first CD cover. Uh, I've got a chance to DJ for Mike Marshall. I've got a chance to DJ for Pooh Man. I got a chance to open up for Too Short. Uh, oh man, the list goes on. See, where I was aiming to do and I did was carve my niche in to work with all the upcoming artists. And
Right,
what I wanted to do was break the record of putting the most upcoming artists on the stage for the very first time. So
right.
I designed an open mic. Me and my friend Brian Thomas, we teamed up and we started doing open mics every week, every week, every week. And
Now, are you still doing those open mics?
oh yeah, still. I always joke
Nice.
about it. I did it for 500 Tuesdays. I took a year off and then I did it again. You
I
know?
was reading it's that's a record.
Yeah. You,
500 consecutive Tuesdays.
that's right. And then
Do
took a
you
year off
guys
and
you
then I
guys
did it
hear
again.
this?
Yep. And pretty much every night it was anywhere from 10 to 20 artists on stage. The most artists I put on stage in one night was 34 artists. We started at
Yeah.
7 o'clock and we ended at 1:30. And I put on 34 artists in that night.
Now, let me give you some perspective on 500 consecutive Tuesdays.
It's only
I
52 in a year.
it's only 52 in a year. I got 82 under my belt, and I've been doing this since June of 2020. 500. What? That's like 10 years, almost 10
Yeah,
years straight.
it is. Yes, exactly. 10 years. I took a year off and did it 10 more years. And
Wow.
the second time, the only reason why it stopped is because the club we was at caught on fire on my birthday when we was just about to celebrate another open mic. So they couldn't stop
Oh,
me. They had to burn me out.
yo, that is deep, bro. I'm a baby compared to what you've been doing.
Nah.
A little big dog.
No, but I'll tell you though, it went by so fast, man. I'll tell you, it
Yeah.
went by so fast. It wasn't even like we was counting. It was like one day we looked up and was like, hey, man, we finna have a 10-year anniversary. And then at
Nice.
the 10-year anniversary, we start thinking, damn, you know how many Tuesdays that is?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you
wow.
know, I was blessed with a family member. Shouts out to my big cousin Clive Barnes. He owned a restaurant called Sweet Fingers, and it was the only Jamaican restaurant in San Leandro. And he sat down with me. He said, listen, as long as you don't interrupt my food, I won't interrupt your music. And then he gave me the keys. And we've been on ever since.
Oh man. So now this radio station that you are you is it your radio station or you just kind of doing something with
It's
somebody?
it's our radio station, BayLifeRadio.
Yeah.
I teamed up with 7 other DJs. We used to work at another radio station, KPR1 Radio, and the radio station went into expansion mode. So when you starting to grow, you got to shut down for a minute to get everything together. In the meantime, I turned my recording studio into a radio station. So after us and me and the guys, we got together and started knowing each other. We kind of just stayed where we was. We still go to KPR1. Shouts out to Gabe, much love, because he the one who gave us our format. But we kind of just stay with our own.
Right. Oh, that is deep, bro. Now these 34 artists you managed to get. I'm reading also your not little, but your bio on my other screen. These 34 artists in one night. Do you remember any of them?
Yeah, of course. Oh man. Because a lot of them are doing very well now. For instance, I'm gonna give you an example. We're talking 1998, 1999. Okay. The host of the show was Dyson the singer, right? Okay. Back then. And this is open mic. Well, we in 2021, now Dyson the singer is a member of Tony.
Wow.
See, so how things transition. And that's just one of them. Back then, 1999, 2000, Mr. Fab was too young to get in the club. And we used to sneak him in to perform, but you got to leave soon as you finish. And now Mr. Fab is one of the greatest business owners here in Oakland, California, giving back to the community how he came in.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, and it's a few other ones, that I could go on. But yeah, some of those 34 artists are doing really, really well right now.
How did you manage that for all of us that want to do something like you did, 34 artists on a stage in one night? How did you do that?
Weeks of grooming, weeks of doing it over and over and over again, with a smaller amount. And then in this particular night, we just went for the gusto. Let's try to put on as many, because, it was after the show started growing. Some nights we went home and some artists didn't get to perform, and they was upset about that. Upset to a point where a couple of nights I got into a fight because I couldn't put them on. Right. You know what I mean? Funny thing is that's how me and Jay Stalin from Livewire became great friends, because one night he wanted to get on and he got so upset at me. We was about to fight, but we didn't. We cooled off. Next week, I made sure I put him on, and we was on ever since then.
Wow. Man, that is so dope, bro. And weeks of grooming. I know it's oh yeah. I've put on some things, and getting 5 people up on a stage is a lot. You talking about 34.
Yeah. And I mean, keep in mind, in the open mic atmosphere, that's really like only one song a person. So you get up and do your song.
Talking about a few minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a light. It's an ongoing process. Out here in Oakland around that time, it was a lot of artists. Oakland is a jewel pot. You can stick your hand blindly into Oakland and pull out some talent. That's how much talent it is out here.
Wow. So now, let's take us through your 2000s. Are you still DJing?
Woo. Yeah. I never stopped DJing. Through the 2000s, 99, 2000, I met an Oakland icon by the name of MC Valentine.
Okay.
And I was producing beats for him. And one day he decides to write me a rap and said, "You gonna learn this." And I was like, I'm arguing with him. I'm not a rapper. And it came to, well, if you don't say this rap, I'm going to quit. And all I had invested, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll learn it. And actually, by the time I learned it and learned it good, I was interested. And, he had me. I think he knew that too. And so around then, that's when we started. That's when I turned into one of the rappers in our family. And now when we go in places, I'm rapping as well.
Right. So I'm being asked to ask you a question. Who interviewed you on BayLifeRadio?
Who? Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody helps the help, man. Come on. I'm the interviewer.
Oh. Yo, it's nice to have two interviewers on.
Right,
because we
right.
could just go. Even though your screen been frozen since the tech gods are with us with the sound. Your screen been frozen since the beginning.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
But we're still talking, so I don't want to touch nothing.
Wow. See, I mean, hey, it's not to look at no way. It's the whole, you feel me? And I'm glad you know that now I can continue my lunch without, offending nobody.
You can eat while you're interviewing, huh?
Right. You feel me?
Yeah. So
but
now, we're going through the 2000s and where you are. Now, before you answer that, the whole time you're DJing from, the 80s to the early 2000s, are you on vinyl?
I'll tell you, all through the 80s, vinyl. 88, I got my first pair of Technique 1200s. Vinyl.
Nice.
All the way up until 2006, 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm relatively new to the digital. I would say I didn't get comfortable until about 2011, 2012 on the digital scene. Up until then, it was vinyl.
Now, what are you using? You using Serato?
I like virtual DJ.
Okay,
I can use
so you're
Serato.
virtual DJ. Okay.
Yeah. My goal was, just by being a DJ, my goal was to try to learn every format. So if you set me on any kind of format, I can play some music out of it. You feel me? You give me 2 cassette players, I'm gonna play some music. If you give me 2 computers, I'm gonna play some music.
Now, what took you so long to do the transition? Was it a comfort thing, or just like, I like vinyl?
Being old and set in my ways, I've learned getting older that change is kind of hard, especially when you've invested time into your everything you got. I was one of those producers that I said I would never put a computer in my studio. I had 2 8-inch reels and one of those supers, it was super back then, but it was one of those super large 16 track boards.
Yeah.
So I was like, I would never use a computer. But then one day, I was moving one day and this lady had a computer in her garage. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why the hell you got a computer in your garage? And she said, oh, that thing, you can have it. She gave it to me. I never looked back. I was so appreciative. She became my baby mama.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Shouts out to my kids. Daddy, love you.
Oh, that's dope, bro. So now take us through some more of the 2000s, and then getting into, you said 2011 is when you actually did the switch over? Now, you switched over from vinyl permanently, or you kind of had vinyl as still some security blanket?
Well, okay, my vinyl security blanket was back then when they came out with the SL box and you could still use the vinyl. So that kind of transitioned me over where you know what I'm saying? You didn't use the records, you used the code reader and you put it on the turntable. So that kind of was my cushion to get even more comfortable with the digital. And then what's funny is what happened one day and what made me respect virtual DJ was one day my code reader wouldn't work.
Really?
And yeah, and messing around with the buttons on the computer, I pressed the button and it started the music. And bing, a light came on. I'm like, oh man, I could press the button. I don't need the, oh man, this is dope. So, and from there I started experimenting.
All right. So now you got the radio station. How long have you had the radio station?
I would say we've been at BayLifeRadio close to 9 years. I might be short enough, but close to 9 years.
So some of you said you interviewed. You're an interviewer. Some of the cats you interviewed, who was that?
Oh, wow. The greatest part. I got a chance to interview one of my producer idols, DJ Bobcat.
Really?
I interviewed The Glove.
I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
Cool
that's
dude.
A cool brother, man.
Cool dude, yeah.
Hey, we started talking. I had him cracking up because I'm looking at him. I had you remember him and Ice-T's 12-inch single? I got the vinyl on the wall. If I was at the studio, I could show you. We have a whole wall in our studio where I just glued all these icons to the wall, right?
Reckless, yeah.
Right, and he's up there. So me and him, we talking about vinyl. Oh man, that was one of the greatest interviews I did.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a chance to interview DJ Prince. I got a chance to oh man, the funniest interview ever. MC Shan. Oh my God. MC Shan is a riot, but he is 100% real.
Yeah.
Oh man, I be wanting to call him just to talk to him sometimes.
I might have to see if I can get him on here just to be the first MC on the DJ interview.
Hey, listen, man, he'll tell you, and that was the cool thing about it because he has some funny stories about Marley Marl, you know, back then, DJing. Yeah. And, oh man, the whole battle between him and Chris. Oh man. Shan is a full hand, man. I'm telling you. Yeah,
we gotta set that up there.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Yo, buddy Jeff Quan is a genius. He is tapped in with all the fixtures, man. I'm like, hey, Jeff will call me. He'd be like, hey, Rich, you want to interview such and such? I'd be like, for real? He was like, yeah, no kidding. All right, I'll have him call you. And it's set up just like that. Man, yeah, Jeff
is with him. This dude, mad cool. I'm gonna get him on the interview one day.
Yeah. Hey, you know, that's the funny thing because all the interviews he set up, I've never interviewed Jeff. That's funny.
I'm gonna get him on before you. This is our race now.
Hey, well, you let me know because I just want to see it.
But cool dude, we hooked up I think earlier this year, and you know he been hooking me up with you guys. So definitely big up to Jeff Quan.
Yes, by the Pound Rap Media, what it do?
Definitely big up. So now, what are you working on now?
Oh wow!
Where you guys going?
As far as BayLifeRadio, I'm trying to turn the radio station into a DJ school.
Okay.
As far as the music, we have a music group. I always told this joke because from 2000 to 2020, I said I knew 10 groups that had 10 members or more. 10 years later, they all got 2.
Yeah.
You feel
it's
me?
not like that no more. Back in the day, you used to have the whole crew. The minimum was 5.
Right. Now it's everybody on their own.
Yeah.
You know, so kind of what we did as a family, we kind of put that back together, and we got a group called the OG Music Group. Wait, let me say it right. The OG Music Group. OG Music, the OG Movement. And basically it's hip hop how we used to do it. It's not all the elaborate sounds and confusing beats and all them sound effects that cover up the lyrics. It's wide open, bass heavy West Coast with lyrics on it that you can understand and that kind of make you want to party. It's up tempo, you know, it's dance tempo, so 90, 100 BPMs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we just trying to bring back that old feel of hip hop. Not that right now, I take nothing away from the youngsters, but what they don't see is that they have created a darkness over hip hop, and hip hop used to make you feel good.
Yeah. Wow.
And I get the whole reality rap thing, but my thing with that is all you little kids ain't living that life.
Yeah.
So all you little kids shouldn't be rapping that life. I get it, it's out there and we supposed to know, but if you can label another race or a culture vulture for stepping into hip hop and borrowing what we're doing, well, that's the same thing these imitators are doing. You stepping into the reality rap, you borrowing their real life to make you a record. That's a culture vulture.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, big up to them. I kind of hated on them, but I understand they have their own way of doing this rap game. And
True.
Back in the day, our parents didn't understand when we listened to all the hip hop we listened to, your KRS-Ones, your Shans, your Sugar Hill Gangs, your Big Daddy Kanes. They didn't understand that.
Hey, listen, I used to have to sneak to listen to hip hop. You couldn't just turn on no hip hop song in your mama house like that.
Wow.
So, yeah, man. And like I said, not taking nothing away from it. I get it too. We wasn't understood, and they thought what we was doing was nonsense as well.
Right.
I
get it. So I don't hate on them. I appreciate some of the beats are so dope. I just don't understand the lyrics, like you said a little bit ago. Lyrics you can actually follow and sing to.
Right.
Or rap to. So that's so dope. How many people's in the group that you formed?
Four of us right now. I count 4 because those are just the 4 rappers. And we also have 4 others that's just the music producers that we work with.
Yeah.
Every time at BayLife, we try to make it a family of families. It's like you in the family, but you're not the family. You're still independent. You still do what you do, but you work with the family.
Right. Nice. So what's the station W420 radio network? Is that?
Oh, man.
Are you a part of that?
That's my buddy Randy. That's his radio station. And he lined me up with a bunch of great folks over there, and I did an interview just like I'm doing with you. And we've been hooked up ever since. You know, we've been inviting me to events and just meeting different people. You know, they got a cool radio station. It's based off of course, you know, like the title says, 420. It's about the cannabis culture. It's about, you know, the benefits of cannabis. Healthy tips on intake, on amounts, on strains, on, you know, just different aspects of how helpful cannabis is, and the history of cannabis, and how many things you can make out of it aside from just smoking it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yes, it's a cool little station. They talk about a whole lot of interesting people. Every time I talk to somebody over there, I learn a different aspect about 420.
Roger that. So, speaking of all of this, what is this Uncle Igor's mud water?
Oh yeah.
Explain that.
AKA the night. Okay. What I did was I just basically bottled something that I drink at home. We used to make all natural herbal tea out of herbs. And you know, they used to always joke about it, like, man, this is so good, you need to bottle it. In fact, I got a line in one of my songs where my friend told me, he said, man, you need to name that, package it, bottle it, and sell it. He said it just like that. When he said it, I said, is that a rap line? He said, no. I said, I'm gonna make it one. And I finally wrote it in a rap, but that's what he said. You need to name that package, bottle it, and sell it. So, you know, a couple years later, after hearing, man, it's so good, I was like, you know, last summer, sitting at home, I was like, man, maybe I should. So I started bottling it, and it blew up. And it's, you know, it's making some noise. And it's just a hand-brewed homemade tea, you know, all natural.
Now, what's in it?
If I tell you that, I have to kill you.
Because the last interview I heard you do, the dude asked you the same thing, and you said the same thing.
Hey, listen, I can tell you this. It's for the 420 friendly. So if you don't partake, this is probably not the drink you want.
Not the drink you want, huh?
No. Yeah. But if you partake, you might want to, you know, you might like this.
And for those who don't know what the 420 is, it's the legalized plants in you know, half the states now, or most of the states. I don't indulge, but you know, it does. I gotta tell you this: it does help my military veterans. I'm a 26 and a half year veteran, Army veteran. And, you know, a lot of my veteran friends, they do indulge, and they say it kind of calms them down.
Yeah.
You know, PTSD is people really still don't understand it. And, you know, the veteran community, they don't really talk to regular people. We only talk amongst each other about it because everybody else don't understand. But that the herbs, cannabis, it kind of calms them down.
Right.
And they say, you know, it really works. And
it does.
I think they're supposed to legalize it in some places for us to be able to get.
Yeah.
As a medication.
We in California, we already there. I can tell you, as a youngster, I've been smoking a long time. You know,
when it was illegal,
right? Even back then, and even as a kid, and as I said in my last interview, it was the step that helped me get off of Ritalin.
Right.
You know, and still have the same effects without the side effects. So. It's definitely a helpmate, you know. I know it's a lot of them. You know, I have said, and I know people don't like when I say this, but they should have never made it this recreational, even though, you know what I'm saying, but I don't smoke recreationally. I smoke medically. This is for maintenance. This is not for recreation. You know?
Right. Okay.
It's honestly too much to do to be high every second of the day without a reason.
For no reason whatsoever.
Right. So yeah. So I know a lot of people, they be seeing me smoke like, man, he must do nothing. No, I do everything. It's maintenance. It helps me keep going. It's definitely a focus. Cause see, when I was youngster, I was diagnosed with hyperactivity. So in the hyperactivity, it's hard for me to focus on one thing all the way through. Right. And besides, I'm a Gemini, but you know what I'm saying. And just it slowed me down. You know, it slowed me down just enough to keep thinking on a consistent level. You know, right. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna start wrapping this thing up. How can people stay in touch with you? What's the best way?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be live at their mama house next Friday. No, I'm just kidding.
That's that weed talking.
You can hit me Instagram, DJ Igor Beatz. Not with the E, with an I. DJ Igor Beatz. Twitter, DJ Igor Beatz. For the Facebook fans, you can hit me Richard Gray. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're gonna have to get a part 2 going when you get back to Oakland.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I must have sinned to the tech guys. They wasn't with me today. I apologize for whatever I did.
They was halfway with us. We still had the sound.
For sure.
Oh man, but it's really good talking with you, bro.
Man,
I do have a question. You know, what do you think about this platform, this DJ interview platform? I did it because DJs, in my view, didn't have a voice. They're not getting their doors banged down to get interviews. And I'm talking outside of your DJ Jazzy Jeffs and a couple of other DJs that's known that will get an interview. I'm talking about your regular DJ that been doing this for 40 years and they only known in their local area. Right. What do you think about this platform for us guys?
I want to, personally, in a nutshell, I love it. I was at Jeff like, hey, get me on, please. I got a lot of DJ friends I know that would love to talk to you about the DJ aspect because nobody talks to the DJ. Look, and even if you go back through hip hop, for about 17 years, they forgot about the DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you ask the average rapper right now, do you have a DJ? They're gonna be like, huh?
Why I need one?
If you ask the average rapper right now, did you know that your job was created by the DJ? Mm-hmm. They'll be like, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, thank you, man. I hope you keep going and you giving the DJs a voice is a blessing.
What I want to do is have a platform so all the DJs can tell their story because you guys all have one.
Right.
And somebody needs to hear it before, somebody else tells your story.
Hey, that's funny you say that because I always tell my daughters, I say, y'all old enough, y'all got to start asking me some questions before I write it in the book.
Oh man, but definitely thank you, bro, for coming on. The tech gods stayed with us with the audio. They didn't do it with the video, but we got through this thing. And we'll look forward to a part 2 and get more done. I know you're talking about a 30 or 40 year history, and we only touched on a few things that you've done. So definitely, I thank you much.
It's all good. Hey, can I say Can I say thank you to a few people?
Yes, I was just about to ask anybody you wanted to shout out.
For sure. Hey, see, that's that interviewer sense, right? Hey, I wanted to say, man, first of all, I want to say thank you to you and your whole network. I appreciate you for having me on. I want to say thank you to Jeff Quan, By the Pound Rap Media, DJ Squareopolis, Square Vision. I want to say shouts out to the Coast to Coast DJs, aka all of those is the BayLifeRadio staff. Much love to the whole BayLifeRadio family. Hug your mama out there. That's what I want to say.
Yes. All right, my brother. I will talk to you soon. I'm going to put you in the green room and close this thing out.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. You keep it up, man. You got a good spot going.
All righty.
Peace.
This is Harry the Big Dog, and we're about to end this thing. We will be back next Tuesday with another live DJ interview. The tech gods will be with us. Definitely. So, everybody, big up to you. And we'll see you soon.